What if I told you that a little boy was found dead in a cardboard box, with no name, no identity, and no one ever came forward to claim him? For more than 65 years, people tried to figure out who he was, but no one could. And when the truth finally emerged, it only raised more questions. This is the haunting mystery of the boy in the box, who was once called America's unknown child. He was a child who was discarded like garbage and left alone in the woods. There were no toys near him, no clothes, and no answers. Only a city full of people who kept asking the same question. Who was this boy? And who could have done something so heartless? It was the afternoon of February 25th, 1957, and the weather in Philadelphia was cold and quiet. In a neighborhood called Fox Chase, a college student was walking through an overgrown area filled with bushes and weeds. He was trying to take a shortcut when he spotted something odd. Lying in the brush was a large cardboard box that looked old and worn. When he went closer, what he found inside would stay with him for the rest of his life. Inside the box was the body of a young boy, estimated to be between 4 and 6 years old. The boy was naked, and he had signs of bruises and injuries all over his body. His hair had been cut recently, but it looked uneven and rushed. His small frame suggested he had been malnourished. Police arrived quickly and studied everything around the scene. The box had originally contained a baby bassinet sold at J.C. Penney, and the boy had been wrapped in a flannel blanket. He had been placed carefully inside, which hinted that someone knew exactly what they were doing. But there were no fingerprints. There was no identification, and no one had reported a missing child who matched his description. The news spread rapidly, and the people of Philadelphia were horrified. Posters with the boy's face were put up all over the city. They were hung in shop windows, mailed with gas bills, and posted on bulletin boards. The police tried everything they could. They took the boy's fingerprints and footprints, and they even tried to reconstruct what he might have looked like alive. More than 400,000 flyers were distributed across the country, but no one came forward. No family, no neighbors, no one at all. That silence led investigators to consider more disturbing possibilities. Some believed the boy had been raised in isolation or even kept hidden his entire life. Over time, a few major theories emerged. One of them pointed to a foster home that was located nearby. A psychic had led the police there, and they did find a similar bassinet and blankets at the home. But in the end, there was no solid evidence to prove the boy had ever lived there. In 2002, a woman known only as M came forward with a deeply unsettling story. She claimed that her mother had purchased a young boy and kept him hidden in the basement for years. According to her, the child was abused regularly and was eventually killed after he vomited during a bath. She said his name was Jonathan. Although her story matched certain details of the case, there was no physical evidence to back it up. So once again, the trail went cold. The boy was buried under a gravestone that simply read, "Heavenly Father, bless this unknown boy." By the time forensic technology advanced in the early 2000s, the boy's remains were exhumed to collect DNA. At first, the results didn't lead anywhere, but investigators remained hopeful. In 2019, a new method called Genetic Genealogy was used. This technique involved tracing distant family members by uploading DNA to public databases. Bit by bit, they began piecing together a family tree. It took years, but eventually, the connection started forming. And then, in December 2022, the mystery finally broke. After 65 years, the boy in the box was identified as Joseph Augustus Zarelli, who had been born on January 13th, 1953. He was just 4 years old when he died. Investigators tracked down both of his biological parents. Although they were not publicly named, authorities confirmed that Joseph came from a well-known family in the area. But even after learning his name, the case was far from over. No one has been arrested, and there are still no clear answers about how Joseph died or who was responsible for his death. Today, Joseph finally has a name on his gravestone. He is no longer just a boy in the box. He is Joseph Augustus Zarelli, and his story is being told once again. But the mystery remains. What really happened to Joseph? Why was he never reported missing? And why did no one step forward in all those years? Some believe he was the victim of abuse. Others think he may have been part of a hidden family secret that no one wanted exposed. The truth is still buried beneath layers of silence. But here's the question I want to leave you with. How does a child go missing and no one even notices he is gone? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more real stories about cover-ups, conspiracies, and forgotten history, make sure to subscribe to the channel.